just gonna keep waving the flag. Hey everyone, what's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, I can see the chat going off already. Hello everyone, welcome to the Eurovision Hub live hangout. Now, maybe you can tell already from our colors. We have our green, white, and orange right here because of our special guest today. But before we introduce her and bring her on hangout now, you can see. Maybe you can tell already for colors. We have our green. There we go. We got rid of that echo.
Sound technician.
Yeah, we got rid of that. But yeah, like I said, our special guest will be on in a second. But before that, allow us to introduce ourselves if you're new to the channel. My name is Miceal, and I'm from Ireland.
My name is Louise, also from Ireland.
And I'm Valentine from France.
You're our honorary Irish person tonight. Guys, if you can't see it, Valentine actually has the tricolor on her eyeshadow.
Okay.
Iconic.
Because I don't have a flag, so it was like, yes, I have to put it on my eyes. So yes, I have on my eyes.
Exactly. We appreciate it. But like we said, we won't be alone in tonight's hangout. So without further ado, let's welcome the Irish representative for Eurovision 2021 and 2020, Lesley Roy. Welcome! Yeah!
Ole, ole, ole,
Ole,
Hello, everybody. That's gonna be my intro for the rest of my life.
This is already the most Irish stream ever. I feel like I'm Irish or something.
We're going for it. We are going for it in 2021. It's just all Ireland all the time.
Yes, we love to hear it. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming on. I know you are flat out busy at the moment, and we really appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. So thank you so much.
Of course, Miceal. Anytime. Glad to see you all. Delighted to be here. Ready for a chat.
It really feels like, you know, not to quote the Maps lyrics too much, but it's like coming home. Like, I feel like this time last year we did a hangout with you and it was really fun. And then everything has just spiraled from there in an amazing way. But I can't believe we're here a year later.
I know. I mean, what a quick, I think everybody feels like that was like the longest and shortest year of everybody's life. We hung out on your birthday. I remember having the little cupcake ready to go in the apartment. And yeah, it's been, I mean, I think it's just been a whirlwind for all of us as people, as humans, and then as Eurovision fans. It's also been absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers to see who's coming back, who's not coming back, what's going to be the songs. And I think it's such a weird place to be in now, having, like, you know, only got to a certain place last year. We just released the songs and then it was gone. And now being in this new phase, it feels very new and like, oh, we're hearing songs in a different way, and the waters have kind of calmed because now everything's out and it's getting together and people are talking about what they're going to do on stage. And it's cool to be in this new place, having been in a what's the song going to be for 12 months. So it's really fun and interesting.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Like, the time has just flown. And yeah. I think we don't want to talk about 2020 too much because that's been and gone and we know it's been cancelled and everything like that.
Exactly.
But just to cast our minds back, just really, really briefly, and I know we've spoken about this a little bit before, but after the contest was cancelled last year, of course, in March, can you talk us through your feelings, kind of your journey in the weeks and months after the cancellation?
Yeah, I mean, I think for everybody, and I've mentioned this in the press, everybody experienced some kind of cancellation, some kind of drop in one form or another. And it was upsetting. You know, we were creating a great buzz and I felt like we were really creating a new story for Ireland in the Eurovision. And yeah, it was upsetting, but you know, I was happy to be able to, you know, go back to the apartment and I was healthy. And I think I'm going to consistently say that because I feel very lucky that I've continually gone through this and I'm healthy enough to be able to do this. So, you know, it was sad, but I think we moved on fairly quickly. I had a conversation with Michael Keeley very quickly after it got cancelled about what we would try and do or what we would not try and do. So I think I had a plan, and I just had to kind of go and sit in my hands for a good few months before I could get into the studio and try and do that. So yes, it was upsetting, but the time for me kind of really being very depressed over that has come and gone. I'm very focused now on maps.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you may know, we are a reaction video channel. So on that topic, how have you found the reaction to maps? And did you expect the abundance of love it got from the Irish community and also the international community, which I kind of represent today? Well, international, it's very close, but yeah, what's the point of view on that?
Yeah, I'm actually quite overwhelmed with the response. Like I knew it would go down well, and I thought, like, when we finished writing it, I was like, okay, I think I might have ticked all of the boxes I wanted to tick, but still at the same time with art and with Eurovision, you never know. There's people going to hate no matter what. So I'm actually still quite floored by the response and how people are getting all of the things that I wanted it to be up tempo. I wanted it to be emotional. I wanted it to be universal, and people have caught all of that. So I'm very happy with how it's gone down with everybody.
Great.
Can we talk about the song creation process for maps? I can imagine it was quite daunting / liberating to start with a clean slate for 2021. It's like, how do I even start this? Like,
Yeah.
can you talk me through that process?
Yeah, great question. How do you start with people sending you messages all day long, every day, from March 18th up to the point of trying to get into the studio? There was so much going on, Miceal, like so much. I tried to separate a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to have to get some kind of a, not to get like businessy about it, but I'm going to have to kind of get a little bit of a separation from the ego to at least start it. So I knew I wanted it to be up tempo. I knew I wanted it to have that anthemic thing that I did think people still liked from Story of My Life, that I feel works well on a Eurovision stage. I knew I needed it to be emotional. So I knew a lot of things that I wanted it to be. I knew I needed an Irish flavor, but that's quite for me as an artist, a difficult thing to do. And I kind of talked about this kind of jokingly the other day, of what I think people think sounds like an Irish thing can be 20 different things. So there was a lot of different flavors that I wanted to try. So how I got into it was, I'm going to try everything. I'm going to write as many different styles as I can until it feels right and brilliant. And then when I think I've hit on something really good, then I'll go like to town and make it like the best I can possibly make it. And that's what happened with maps. I tried an EDM, I tried it, Kygo, I tried a ballad, I tried a humorous song. I went through everything that I possibly could as a songwriter, not as an artist. And then I honed in on, I can't just be a songwriter, I have to be an artist with this as well. And that's where maps really came from.
Yeah, I can imagine there were so many different songs, and I'm wondering, are we going to ever get to hear them on a possible EP?
I think there's a few now. I'm starting to piece them together that will make sense with maps. There's a ton that won't, because like I said, I tried as a songwriter and a producer to write different songs. Songs though that could work for different artists if they wanted to enter into the Eurovision. So very, very hooky songs, but just wouldn't have made sense for me to present them.
Fair, totally fair.
Amazing. We're going to take a quick question from the chat, which comes from Jean, and Jean asks, what is your favorite band / singer at the moment, Lesley?
At the moment, well, just right now, I'll just cut to what I was listening to before we get on. Was my friend Tim McCune has this band called The Midnight, and it's a very 80s movie-esque synthy vibe. So that's what I've been listening to just before I got on with you guys.
Cool. We'll check them out.
Okay. So as you may know, we are, oh, sorry, that's not the good question. So we've seen you interact with Barbara, the French representative, and see you interact online and how you love our song. And so, have you had the chance to listen to all the other contestants from this year Eurovision, and which one is your favorite, actually?
Yeah, she's so good. She's such a true, real artist. She's definitely up there, one of my favorites. I think she's going to do really great on the night, and I think a lot of people are really behind her. It's a great song, and in comparison to last year, I haven't listened to all of the songs because I want to kind of have some fun on the night and not just be in this competitive mindset. So, I French songs great. Obviously, Malta is fantastic, and Switzerland. I totally understand the top few songs this year. They sound really good, but I'm holding out on a few songs.
Great.
What's your favorite?
Mine.
Yes.
Mine, it's Lithuania, because I went to Lithuania because I went in Erasmus, and Latvia as well, because Latvia, it's where I went to Erasmus as well. Switzerland as well, and you, of course. Like,
Ole, ole.
Just always go back to that. It's perfect.
When in doubt, ole it up.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. Also,
I just recently explained ole to Lauren, and she's like, okay, ole, I get it. She can get into it.
How do you explain that? Like, I feel like it's just we've always done it as Irish people. Nobody ever taught me to do that. We just do it.
I know, it's just like it's part of like a prayer system that we have, I guess. I don't know, prayer system. You quote me on that. Lesley Roy # prayer system. Well, Lauren grew up in this sports system, so she really understands. Like, I think, and this has also helped her really get behind the Eurovision, is because she knows like very competitive sport. She grew up in tennis and basketball. So if I tell her this is something that a culture, an entire country will do, if you start it, like thousands of people will do, she can get behind it, not a problem. So I'm lucky that she's from a sporting background. Otherwise, I have no idea how I would have got around some of this Eurovision stuff with her at all.
Lesley, you have now been in the Eurovision bubble for, say, 2 years. And in my opinion, and I think many Eurovision fans, and especially Irish Eurovision fans' opinions, you're the start of a new era, or you're writing the new narrative for Ireland at the contest. My question to you is now, what should Ireland's map be to go forward and build on your success?
Whew, great question. I'm kind of nervous to answer this. I just hope, and I know there will be, just as much thought put into this song. I mean, not that there wasn't before. I have to make sure I'm saying things appropriately. I would love there to be somewhat of a show and a competition moving forward, to create more of the songwriters getting involved. And I hope I have kind of opened the door a little bit for more songwriters to feel that it's not this. Sometimes I think there's a bit of a stigma within the UK and Ireland around the Eurovision for songwriters.
Mm-hmm,
and I really hope, because one of my goals with this was to change the narrative within that. So I hope that I have done that, and that more songwriters will get involved moving forward. And maybe that will potentially lead to there being a show and more of a national contesty vibe. And I would also love to be involved in that moving forward, as someone who is psychotically obsessed with songwriting. So yeah, I hope I've opened the door to maybe more people getting into it.
I'm so happy that you said that you're open to sticking around in the songwriting process. And I saw in the chat a minute ago, somebody said, send Lesley Roy every year.
No,
I wish.
No, I think there's maybe like the cousins and everybody would love that, but I think there's a large group of people, my sister being one of them, who would we don't have enough energy left to do it every year.
That's fair enough.
But behind the scenes, and I've talked about this in the background with the team, that I'm so invested in this and making it make sense that if it's not me to have moved the needle along, pushed it forward a little bit, I would still love to continue to try and help do that.
100%. Like, you've been such an amazing ambassador for us so far, and I think we would all be so happy if you stuck around and, you know, you were here from time to time and being a part of the process. That would just be amazing. But looking forward, or looking more to the present, because we're looking a lot to the future. And I know this is the question on everybody's lips, and I know you can't say too much. I know you can't. But we've heard a lot, Lesley, about your staging. And Michael Keeley, our Irish head of delegation,
I'm gonna grab a tiny drink for this question because I feel so bad.
Don't worry. I'm not gonna put you on the spot too much, but I really want to know. The hype is real. Michael Keeley has said it's something that's never been done before. There's a lot of chatter going around about it. We know that there's an excellent staging director involved and so on. So what I want to know is, how does your staging make you feel? And how would you like it to make the viewers feel?
Oh, you're a devil. You're getting around me in such a great way. Total devil. And anybody outside of Ireland won't even know what I mean by that. So, okay. Great question. Well, look, I will say I agree with you. There is a lot of chatter. I saw some heads of the EBU discussing videos, I think, of our little rehearsal tapes. So there is a lot of chatter, which is great. And in rehearsals, how does that make me feel when I'm performing it with our unique staging? It makes me feel really happy. I think this has been the lightest and happiest with a performance or idea of a performance that I've ever had in my career anyway. But also I've never gotten to explore having, like, using such a kind of legendary staging director. You know, I've gone out there with my band, or like earlier I posted about Coachella, I've gone out there, you know, just with a mic. I've never had this much intensity or time that I've got to spend on directing what each single second would be. So to answer it, I think all I can say is it makes me feel very happy and very light, and I really hope that comes across on camera, and it makes people feel happy and light and entertained after the year that we've had.
Oh, amazing. I'm so excited to see what it will be.
It's time for an ole, ole, ole. I'm excited.
We're just going to do it after every question now.
Exactly.
I was also...
sorry, I know I danced around that, but it makes
no, yeah. It's understandable. It's all part of the process. I also was going to ask you, we've noticed from your socials and different things that you're doing like a lot of training and obviously a lot of rehearsals as well. Yeah. Is that to do with your staging, or is that more like a way for you to de-stress?
I think it's a bit of both. You're terrible. I'm gonna murder you when I meet you in person. Look, it's an up-tempo song. That is an up-tempo song, yeah. And I think anybody dealing with the height of pressure and anxiety and excitement of what your heart rate will do on a night like the Eurovision, coupled with a BPM of something ridiculous that I put maps at, then yeah, you have to train for your breathing. So yeah, it's a bit of both. Yes, it's a de-stress, and it's also a breath work training for that song. Yeah, and
that makes sense.
We can talk more after you see what the performance is.
Well, that makes sense. The pace of the song, it's very fast paced.
Exactly. And you have to add in your, well, I know, because I'm manifesting the excitement of the night to know where my heartbeat is going, and we're monitoring that, and like actually mapping it out, no pun intended, of where I'm physically going, like in my headspace. So I'm training for this, like, Rocky IV. Like, I am like in it, in it to win it.
Ole. I'm gonna get so carried away.
I know. Now, on that like competitive sporting thing, I think it's time for a little game. We're going to play the Eurovision Song Association. So guys, you can play along in the chat. By the way, hello everyone in the chat. We are seeing all your comments, all the love for Lesley and love for Lauren. Thank you so much for everyone. We really appreciate it. So play along in the chat. What the game entails is we are going to give Lesley a word and she has to sing a Eurovision song with that word in it. Are you up for the challenge, Lesley?
No. No.
No, stop it. Next
Can I pick a
question.
different game?
We can help you. Just a line.
Okay. Oh God, I'm gonna completely blank on everything. Okay, and it has to be a Eurovision song. Okay, go. Whatever.
Okay.
Do it.
Are you ready? You ready?
No.
So me neither. So that's okay. So the first word is eyes.
In your eyes, I see the light leading me home again. There's heaven in your arms, my love. Okay, phew, I got that. Okay, we got that one.
Ole, 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 ole.
Yes, Valentine.
Come on, Valentine.
I'm becoming Irish. Surrounded by Irish people, I'm becoming Irish. That's
On your eyes, you have a flag. Love this. Okay, the next word is world.
We've got the world tonight. Let's hold on together. Okay, that was it. I don't want to mess up the next lyric. So
One of my favorites. Great choice.
I love Mickey Joe Hart and his wee green guitar. Honestly, what a song.
What an epic build up for that Eurovision. Like I remember the hype going into that with Mickey. Like that was we were doing something fun during that time.
Ireland's sweetheart.
Yeah.
Okay, and your final word is home.
Home. I mean, come on.
Come on.
Oh!
Amazing.
Yes.
Perfection. Iconic. Never been done before.
Funny, brilliant.
Well, I was like, we had the chorus, and I was like, I am not bringing home a song called Back Home. Like it's not happening. And I had the verse pre-chorus, and we were still chipping away on it. And then we were all separated, the three of us, and then the bridge happened, and I was like, I'm not going to curse, but then I was able to weave in the entire concept of maps made more sense because yes, back home, let's bring it back home, extremely too cheesy. So I needed to add a different layer, something more creative, something more artistic on top of it to make more sense.
Amazing.
Ole.
Here we go. We're going to take a quick question from the chat. What is your favorite Irish song from Eurovision, Lesley?
Yeah, I think we just briefly mentioned Niamh Kavanagh's In Your Eyes, one of my favorites. I love Rock and Roll Kids as well. That was like one of my favorite times of really noticing what the Eurovision was and Ireland in its golden era. So I think In Your Eyes is one of my favorite Irish songs.
Great choice. A group of Irish fans actually recently ranked all the Irish entries and Maps was very high. But yeah, In Your Eyes came out on top.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Really good one.
Okay, so on the topic of Eurovision songs, I have a fun little questions for you. So if you could listen to only one Eurovision song for the rest of your life, which is not your own, which one would it be?
Euphoria.
Yeah.
Doesn't get old.
It really doesn't. Run to it, walk to it, chill out to it. It's that is a great, if aliens came down and needed to know what the Eurovision was, I would start by going into an ABBA and then a Euphoria explanation of things, for sure.
Such a good choice. As I said earlier, you have definitely changed the direction and you're writing a new narrative for Ireland at the Eurovision Song Contest. And you briefly touched on it earlier, but I want to know, after May, will you be staying in the Eurovision bubble? Would you like to be involved in the selection process for Ireland, scouting new talent, songwriting? Is that something that you've got in your mind?
Yeah, I actually I think after a period of maybe a time off, and then yeah, so I don't like, no one hands any divorce papers, and my sister stops talking to me completely. I think like a period of a break from Eurovision for sure, and then I would love to be involved. I think I've wanted over the past few years of my career anyway to get into A&R, or to get into behind the scenes of it all, and this was one way to kind of do that. Especially coming home to Ireland and getting involved in the Eurovision. And I love working with Miceal, and I love working with RTE. So I would 100% run towards being a part of any of selection, conversation, national final, and helping out with the songwriting, or helping songwriters figure out how do we maneuver Ireland within the Eurovision. So yes, 100%.
Love that.
Amazing. And also, in terms of looking forward, as Micheál said, in terms of being involved, and I know we've spoken before about other Irish artists, and particularly as well, we've spoken about Irish female artists and representation on radio and everything like that. Are there any Irish artists or female artists in particular that you would like to see at some point come along and maybe show an interest in representing us?
Really good. I'm gonna have to really dig into, like you said, it's really hard to see and hear the artists on radio. It's such an uphill battle in Ireland and somewhat in the UK right now. So I would have to dig very deep into what's going on underground. I've been in this Eurovision bubble a lot, so I need to see what's really happening and come up with people that I would potentially suggest. But there was one artist actually from up in Donegal, and I must figure out his name, that I thought had a really very interesting, very unique vibe. That in my head, if I was going to start to look at a list of artists, I would put him in it straight away. So
amazing. Keep an eye out.
Yeah, I have to figure out who. I'm terrible, clearly.
Okay, so did you have any expectation before taking part in Eurovision? And if so, have they been met or expected or exceeded?
I think all of my expectations about Eurovision were completely like maybe a Netflix movie version of what the Eurovision is, and no, it's been completely different in amazing ways, and then in some like blah ways of it being cancelled. But it's been absolutely amazing. We talk about the cousins a lot, and I want to continually talk about the cousins a lot, because that's has been one of the most amazing experiences of this, is to see these hardcore real fans who absolutely love the Eurovision and love the Irish Eurovision entries and just want it to make sense. And that has gone above and beyond what I thought I would ever kind of experience from this, because it's such a connection that I think I've made, and from people all over Europe, all over the world, that have loved Story of My Life and love maps. So I think connecting with people without having gone outside of four walls has been something I would have never thought would have happened, having entered a song into a songwriting competition.
So you said earlier that you can't talk about your staging for maps. We understand. But I have a question, and it was actually, I got help from this question by Micheál Linden, one of the cousins, and he said to me, why don't we ask her about the Story of My Life staging? Like, can you talk about that, or are you incorporating things from that in maps, or can you tell us what you had planned?
I think with Story, we never got going with it. Like, it was
the closure. Where's the closure?
I know there's no closure, unfortunately. But in a way that's good that we didn't get going, because we don't have this like, oh my god, we were going to do all XYZ and then we didn't get to do it. Like, I don't know, we progressed it far along enough for it to even have blueprints of what it would have been. So that is a great question for something to talk about staging wise. But no, we never it got cancelled like right on the day that they were going to start shooting some things for it. So I don't know. What would you guys like to see from the staging of maps?
Ooh.
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 Now the tables have been turned.
I know it's not so easy.
Oh,
I
I
would
mean-
like to see like the attention on you, like
Mm.
you be the like no distractions. You're the like the essence of it. You at the core and center of it all.
yep. I agree. And from watching a lot of reactions and talking to other fans, I think what gets people most about the song is the emotion and the kind of inner power that comes from it. So yeah, I would like to be focused on you. I feel like green is like the color that runs through maps. So I just have green in my head. But beyond that, yeah, it's really hard to say what it could be or what it should be.
Yeah, I just hope that the emotion that the music video has brought out in people translates to the performance. Because like even my mom and dad, we watched a recap. Do you know that the recap on their official Eurovision channel last night? And my mom and dad are straight up like, Ireland's got it, Miceal. Ireland's winning. And like, you know, it brings out an emotion in everyone. And even on our reaction video on the channel, like Danny and Louise, you know, it making them well up and stuff. So I hope that is what can happen in the performance too. But I think you can do it. I know you can.
Good. No, I mean a lot of thoughts gone into it. I will say that. You know, we haven't we've left no stone unturned, so to speak. So we'll see. You know, like anything with the Eurovision, with songs or anything, even before or the videos itself, you know, people love things, absolutely love it and obsess over it. And there's people that don't get it, other things. And, you know, I think we needed to do something different and potentially stepping out on the ledge a little bit with it. But I think it's unique enough to make sense.
Oh, I'm so excited. I just want to see it now.
Oh, I wish I could show you all. The anxiety's killing me too.
It's a few weeks. I'll wait.
Yeah,
I'll wait.
And here's the thing. This is all going to be done in a few weeks. There's
I
going to
know.
be a winner. It's going to be over. And then everybody will move on to what's next for, 22 for the Eurovision. So it will be over. We will all have like a great night, a fun night. And I just keep thinking of the fans having waited so long for a show.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was literally just thinking as you were talking. It's been 2 years. I think that's made this season extra good, but also extra intense especially because a lot of artists have come back for round 2 and we're further invested in people. We are definitely further invested in you. I also just want to say to the chat, I have a final question now, but I'm dying to ask some more great questions from the chat. So if you could start getting them in, that would be great. But also continuing on that vein of like, you've mentioned the cousins a bit and you've mentioned international fans and everything like that. And just in case anyone in the chat doesn't know who we're talking about, that's a group of Irish fans. But just on a personal level, and like Miceal's mentioned our reaction on the channel as well, I have just been so invested in the last year as a really big fan of you, as a member of a group that is essentially a Lesley Roy fan club. Like we're Irish Eurovision fans, but we're also a de facto Lesley Roy fan club. And having, from like way back last year, we had the Love for Lesley campaign after the Late Late Show, and then we had our Hangout on here, and then we started Zooming with you, and you sent us letters, and it's literally been crazy. It's been amazing. And you've talked about this a little bit, I know, but how has this all just shaped your experience, like the fan connections, as you've always said, connections, and in terms of like your songwriting and your vision, like how has that impacted you the last 12 months?
Well, I think like having connected with you all and with all over the world after it, it obviously gave me more of a fire to make sure I wrote the best possible song that I could. And just every time I was hitting a wall before maps, I kept visualizing like because I got so many videos of people in lockdown having dance parties in their kitchen to story my life. So I just kept visualizing, how can I create that joy again? Like, without repeating story, because I did not want to go in and do Story of My Life Part 2. That would have been so easy and so blah for me. I would never have done that. So how do I create something sonically different? So having connected with everybody, I just kept visualizing what everybody would do with a new song, with watching a new music video. And that really helped me write maps. And it was quite emotional for me to watch everybody reacting to it the way I had kind of planned it in my head. It was this meta world. I was like, oh my God, it's actually happening. What did I just create? Because that is really what pushed me to write. It was seeing you all having those reactions and having a dance party in the kitchen. If we couldn't get to Eurovision again, there was always a chance of it. I mean, we can talk after it actually happens, but there was always a chance of it not happening. So I was like, at the very least, can I create a dance party in people's kitchens again, and make them feel and well up and want Ireland to do something really good again. So yeah, I don't think that answered your question, but that is what the connection has helped me do that.
Can I just say as well that, like, I know it has in some ways like affected you and shaped you and writing maps and everything like that, but I also can't underestimate, just on behalf of a lot of Irish fans, like how much you have done for us in the last year, like as a group, as individuals. Like, we've all become such tight friends, and so much of it is because of you. So thank you.
Well, I mean, ditto. It was a life raft for me, and like, I don't know if I've necessarily like processed what has happened in the world so much, because I've really kind of ostriched into, well, I'm just going to focus on this. So as much as you all have connected and I've connected with you, it's gotten me through the whole year working on this and focusing on trying to create some positivity for even if it's 10 people, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to start crying shortly.
I do need to say, my mom.
I'm just working on my TED talk, really. This is just like prep for my own TED talk.
Sign me up.
I just need to point out, guys, my mom is here and she says, "Good luck, Lesley," from Miceal's mom and dad. Bless her.
Oh, Miceal's mom and dad, I wish. Put on the kettle.
Put on the kettle, come on for a wee cup of tea.
Exactly.
No, but like when they saw the lineup, they were like, "This is gonna do it. Like, this is the best." Like, really.
That's another one on the list. Like, can you hit a 7-year-old? And I don't. I'm not gonna guess what age your parents are, but like, I'm thinking of my nanny. Like, will my niece and my nanny like this song? Like, they have to. That's the margin you're hitting. You're not just hitting a 24-year-old like female bracket that likes pop rock music. This is a very, very wide audience that needs to get a song, and that might sound easy enough. It's actually not.
Yeah. 100%. I'm going to grab a few more quick questions from the chat, because I know we could just talk to you all day, but there's people in the chat who want to ask you questions too.
Please, yeah.
And Robert has asked a great question. How do you feel about your running order?
Oh, great. Running
Lucky
order.
number 7.
I've got it on me. Number 7. Yeah, no, I'm delighted with that. I've heard, again, whispers and from the EBU, like meetings that we've had online, like the potential after commercial breakish stuff. So I get whispers. I don't know. I love where we're at. I'm loving that.
It's a good spot. And how many times has Ireland won Eurovision?
Oh yeah, true.
7.
That's
Cool.
true. Like lots
Lucky
of
number 7.
Yeah,
That's
I love that.
Somebody's asked, if you can say, will you have backing singers live, or will you use the pre-recorded backing vocals?
I believe as of right now, we'll have 2 backing vocals and 1 vocal on the backing track.
Oh, okay. Very good. That's exciting.
Yep.
Do you feel accomplished knowing that your song is widely loved in the community? What a nice question.
100%. I genuinely do. And if this is as far as it would go again, I would be happy with just the reception that we've had for Maps. Genuinely.
Agree.
We all here. One more. We all agree. Ireland agrees. We're good. I love that.
This has become like a town hall meeting or something of all the Irish in Eurovision.
Yay! We all are in for Maps.
The fact that I just see so many Irish names in the chat as well, it's amazing. It's like we're all here, we're all in attendance. Roll call.
Sorry,
And Valentine, our honorary Irish person.
It's okay.
Voila, voila, voila.
I don't say
Exactly.
I speak French for the point.
Lovely, Barbara. Connor asks, hi Connor, will we be getting an acoustic version of Maps?
Very good question. Well, I think there's like a few online acoustic performances coming up that people will start to see, some pre-party things. But that's a great idea. I'll write it down on my list. I should probably record an acoustic version of Maps. Please set up studio for acoustic version of Maps. Will be really good. And it's actually, I've been playing it for these pre-parties, and it's great when you guys know when you have a track that you can break down and totally works with just one guitar. So Maps has been really fun to just play acoustically. And yes, there will be an acoustic track. Yes, I'll figure that out.
Ooh.
I have
Very
a quick
exciting.
question before we start wrapping up. So, guys, if you have any last questions for Lesley, put them in the chat. But I want to know, is it possible for the next act that will represent Ireland, can they be briefed on the cousins? Can that be like a pass the baton on thing? Like, can they, so that the cousins can go with the Irish representative? Can we try and make that happen?
I'll look, I do my best for the Irish Eurovision irregardless. So I will definitely send a long-winded email of about everybody involved in all of this.
You have a file somewhere or something.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a Virgo, so I have a spreadsheet of something. So I'll definitely be telling whoever is next or whatever group is next the joys of the cousins and the Eurovision fandom in general.
Yes. Pass on the baton. We should
Yeah.
put together like a little user manual. I can see my mum saying, Miceal, you're not a cousin. I'll explain what the cousins are later.
He is. He
Yeah,
named
Mum, I'll explain later. Shush.
We will take one or two final questions before we go. I don't want to go off. It says, I keep you here all day, Leslie, but you're a busy woman.
I can blab on those. So.
Give to the gab, us Irish have. If you were part of an Irish jury, which entry would you like to give 12 points? So I know you probably haven't heard all the songs this year.
No, I definitely have. I mean, obviously, we're talking about Voila, with Valentine. I think the writing behind that, and I haven't dug too much into the who and the what's behind that song, but it's a very, very clever Eurovision song. And I appreciate that, again, as a very obsessive songwriter and over analytical songwriter. I think that's a very, very, very smart Eurovision song.
I also like that it's in French and it's in our language, and yeah, I really like it for that.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It ticks a lot of boxes. It's quite good.
Well. Yeah.
Good choice. And I think we'll take this as our final question. And I actually really like this one because of the Swedish link. Like, you lived in Sweden before and you've written maps with Swedish songwriters and such. And you did an amazing cover of Bulletproof last year, which I know a lot of us loved. So Melly's asking, after loving Bulletproof, do you still listen to Daughter?
Yeah, and I watched Daughter's Journey in Melfest just gone, and I introduced my nieces to it, which was really fun to watch too. My niece Sandy got like obsessed with it, so it was I watched her journey in that, and I totally got behind it. And I think she's a great artist. She's a great songwriter.
Amazing. I'd love a collab or something one day.
Oh, same, true. Yeah, that'd be good.
Leslie collab with everyone, and Leslie and Coppers summer 2022.
Leslie and Coppers, was that we're going to host in Coppers for 2022. Fantastic. I think there's like a floor space of about 500, is it?
There's so much like merch, like marketing opportunity, because Coppers gold cards and Lesley Roy gold.
True.
Like it all fits in. This is a very Dublin conversation. This is not even an Irish conversation.
I know. Now we're getting minute. Yeah.
Where would you like it hosted if we won?
Balbriggan. Of course.
Up the Balbriggan, up the dome.
I mean, I'm sure Linda could loan out. So Linda lives out the road in the mall. from where I grew up. So I'm sure Linda could open up some of her property as well for hosting some of the delegations, maybe potentially. But yeah, wouldn't it be lovely to see Ireland host the Eurovision again?
Everything I need and more. Lesley and the Eurovision legends involved. Yes.
As long as I can actually host it again. That's my next goal, is television. So
Yes.
I'm here for it. Fingers crossed. Lesley, thank you so much for coming on, hanging out with us again. It was an absolute dream, and thank you for being like. It's just so great as a Euro fan, an Irish Euro fan, to have someone so passionate about the contest and who is trying to steer the way and, like I said, change the narrative for Ireland at the contest. So thank you so much on behalf of everyone here at Eurovision Hub and Irish Eurovision fans and the cousins. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
thank you. Thanks for having me. Ole, ole. Here we go.
Yeah.
Ole, ole, ole.
Ole, 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 oi, oi. What a way to find out.
Great way
Yeah.
to end it. Thank you guys, and I'll be seeing y'all very soon.
See you later, Lesley.
Well, thanks for the chat. Bye.
See you later.